I saw you had put on Twitter a picture of a set list, and I think at the top it said 777 Session. Is that the name of a new record, or is what?
It's working title. We're recording demos, and our practice space, the address, the street number is 777. So
we don't stray far from
777 sessions.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a tongue twister, I guess.
So you're doing demo. How many do you have done?
7 or 8.
I thought there was 4 at this point.
I get confused.
Well, we've done, I think, 2 songs for Tattoo.
Yeah, there's 10.
Show.
There's 10 songs.
There's, what was the other thing? Another one for something else.
We did. Our friend of ours is doing a tattoo video, and we did 2 songs for that, but they can still be used for just for demo purposes. And that's the Open Sea and the Women in Work, which is we've been playing live. And then we did Take Shelter for Ben's brother's movie, which is called Take Shelter, and that's going to be, I guess, when the credits roll, there'll be a version of it. And then one of the songs that's going to go up on the board is we did at Young Avenue Sound. That's when there was talk of us doing a duet with Jerry Lee Lewis, and Ben wrote a song that was kind of Jerry Lee Lewis like, but it fits in with all the other songs, so we might throw that in. But then the rest were just stuff that we've been demoing, writing.
Y'all have kind of favorite ones emerging at this point, or?
I think every time we finish a new one, it's the new favorite.
Yeah.
Like Women in Work came out, and once you play it live, you're just like, this is awesome. And then Lightning, or Like Lightning, was just fun putting it together. It kind of came together all of a sudden. A new song. You're kind of like, wow, this is awesome. Sorry about this. It's my son's butt. But you guys sit still, man.
What
you want to draw?
What can people expect, just kind of sound-wise? Just kind of, is this basically an extension of the last record, or is trying to change things up a little bit, or?
I think the joke was that I see you did one really good line. I think the joke was we went in talking about maybe slowing it down, going back to.
I made a big line.
Daddy's talking, but you did a good big line. Attic tapes type stuff, but a fuller, kind of like Darken My Door, real powerful, but still sparse.
I made a heart.
I see that. And, sorry about this, man. And I think now what's happened is it's kind of coming off like Bob Seger's System, The Faces. Like, we've made this rock and roll record. Not a soul record, not a rock record, but all the songs kind of have that swing again, or they just, it sounds like 19... Jump rope. It'll make somebody in the jump rope. And so, yeah, everything just seems to be kind of, I don't want to say barrel house, but it kind of has that feel to it, maybe. But, who knows?
I made an apple.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ben at one point had talked about doing maybe even an acoustic thing at some point.
Well, that was part of the Attic tapes. He's wanting to do more like acoustic, but full band acoustic. I think when we were looking for a new label, that scared a lot of people, because we were like, yeah, we're talking about making this acoustic record, and you just saw guys just like
more of the last record.
Yeah, or just that. And then I think one of the guys we talked to, they were like, that's fine as long as it's sonically competitive. I think they were worried it was just going to be playing on pie pans and recorded in the backyard.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly
I love that phrase though, sonically competitive.
what they meant by that.
Or like when the record company told Neil Young that they sued him for making records that were uncharacteristic of Neil Young or something.
Well, well, I think it is like Bryan Adams' Heartbreaker type stuff, that you're like, okay, I can put this on, and then I can put on, the Rolling Stones, and it's the same, whatever. But if you put in some of those lo-fi acoustic folk punk records, that, or our first Attic Tapes record, that there's more hiss than there is actual music. I think that's what they're worried about when you tell them you're making an acoustic record.
But you think that's something possible down the line?
I think what happens is we never actually, and I say we, usually it's Ben, but we don't plan it as much, or you're like, yeah, it would be nice to make a, after a while, you can only go so loud, so long, so fast, or it's the same as anything, go so slow, or,
Daddy,
yeah.
I made a fish.
Well, that's a nice fish.
Well, at this point, we've established a pretty wide array of things we can do. So
All the
pretty much
fishes.
nothing's out of character unless we start using weird synthesizers and things. Or turn on Marshall stacks with huge heavy metal sound or
I
something.
mean, I feel like we could probably do that, not for a whole album, but I think one day if we, chose to. I mean, that's the thing is if you listen to the demo disc of That Much Further West, that's the extra creative. A lot of people when I talk to are like, that's my favorite version.
That's
of the
probably That Much Further West. I think is probably my favorite one, and I love that bonus
And
disc.
there's a lot of people that they're
I
like,
like it because I make weird electronic music.
Yeah, but no, the drum machines and the
I mean,
like the
Tennessee,
echoes and the.
there's drum machines all over Tennessee, isn't there?
There's a
They're
few
buried.
spots. Let's see, Sweet Little Thing.
And that's the kind of
They're mixed in with the drums and the choruses, and then let's see, what is it? Right after the second chorus, there's that heartbeat part. That's a drum machine. The
on paper now.
verses, the parts with words for what is it? Slow dancing is a drum machine with an analog filter. And the wordless choruses, that's real drums. But
Some demo versions of some songs have cropped up online in the forums and stuff like that. Do you guys have stuff that you might one day release, or have just kind of a odds and ends type record?
I'm guessing people out there have more of it than we
Yeah, I
do.
think I've got quite a few random things floating around, but the one day it was like one day we'll make an odds and sods or B-sides and more, but it's not singing anytime soon. But what I want to do, and I've been talking to the management and the website people, is I just got to get on it.
What are you drawing?
If you don't answer him, he won't quit asking.
What are you drawing?
What does it look like? It's a tomahawk.
What is it?
What is it?
It's a bass.
But I want to put on something like on the website to where just it's like the Lucero closet. It's like, oh, I found this demo version of a song that
I think it's
me and Ben did in '98 that would never see the light of day again. Doesn't necessarily CD quality, but wouldn't it be cool if you could go to the website and download it for free and just either leave it up there forever or for a month or just some kind of like. It doesn't have to be a special occasion, or just whenever the mood, not once a month, I don't want it to be work, but when the mood strikes us or we find something like, wouldn't it be cool to put the original version of Nobody's Darlings that was on that split 7-inch that you really don't hear because you hear the Nobody's Darlings record version and just
Oh
pop.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
That was like drum pads and real reverb drums.
We weren't even real drums. It was me and Ben sitting in the.
I mean, there was a lot of reverb sound.
Oh yeah.
These fake drum pads, all they could hear in the room was me clicking on these plastic
I made
pads.
the
Me and Ben were
water.
facing each other,
I made the
playing
water.
acoustic, and he was singing. There was only one mic, and Roy with headphones going.
I had a bunch of gadgetry plugged in, so they couldn't hear. They were just playing acoustic with each other in the room, and then the sound I heard in my headphones was this huge,
Echo,
echoey,
all the sound. Yeah.
crazy sound.
Well, what about like Aaron sent me? He gave me some of his tapes, and I've been going through, and I saw like when Ben would bring a song in, and you guys would work it out. Is that generally how it happens? He comes up with it, you two work it out, and then it kind of goes to the bigger band, or what's the?
Sometimes, lately, a lot of them start as he'll have parts, sometimes one part, and he's trying to find something that clicks with it, or he'll have
It's a big daddy.
as much as a whole arrangement and words, and any level in between there, he'll have something that he kind of likes. And lately, it seems to happen where me and him will sort of try and find what kind of drum rhythm would really match well with that stuff.
Look at that.
And then we'll just play together for a while. He'll run through through my paces, all the iterations I can think of. Should play a double time or half time, or maybe quarter time, or kind of an odd beat without a straight snare. Should I play the ride cymbal, the hi-hat, the floor tone, and on which parts of the song? You kind of run through every iteration, and you're like, wait, that sounds cool. Then as we get stuff going, he'll throw ideas like,
Open
maybe
this.
that little part needs a build up. So then you
Right.
chug up to the next part.
Open that.
No way that's
You know,
gonna work.
different stuff. And from there, lately we've been doing that and then recording that.
Yeah, that's been awesome. Is that
And then people get to work on their parts without everybody
Yeah.
else working on
We'll
their
spend 1
parts at
week
the same time.
kind of knocking stuff out and learning it, and then go upstairs the next week and yeah, just be able to record. And like I said, he'll start a block where it'll be Roy and Ben, and then just people building up to where usually I'm one of the last people to where.
So y'all just kind of take it home and sit with it, listen to it, think about it, and then kind of come in and.
Well, it gives you a chance to, instead of having the whole band play the song 37 times, you know, which is you'll end up doing, but it gives you, like, rewind that one part. I got this half of this, or you know, a lot of times I'll go through. Chris Scott's been engineering some of them, and he'll just like start it, and I will go until I'm like, I don't know, and he'll like, hold on, okay, start here, and all of a sudden 20 minutes later he's like, you just wrote your part, you know, and it'll be a lot of going back or fine tuning it, but.
What about producing this one? Did you think you might work with Ted Hutt again on the next record, or?
We have a list. We were hoping to get it figured out before Warped Tour, which it doesn't look like it's going to.
We're basically still contacting people and
Yeah.
seeing who's interested in all that stuff.
There's just
Because it's not going to be universal,
no.
right?
I mean, we're going to be on
We're
ATO,
drawing.
so I don't know. I think that's and so they've given us a couple of names, ideas. Don has kind of been thrown in there. Don't know how real it is. That's one thing. Is a lot of times with producers, it turns into who's really interested, or who was drunk at a show, and whose publicist said something, and so
I draw down.
Ted Hutt's definitely on the list.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a big fan of, it's kind of like Rick Rubin and Slayer, or any of that kind of stuff where you have a trilogy of types. But, if there's that worry that it's going to sound just like the last record or not, or I don't know. We're just having a lot of fun with these songs right now. So, we
Yeah.
want to
And y'all played, you said Lightning last night. That seemed to go off pretty well. I mean, people responding.
We've
Yeah.
played
Too.
3 of them live. Is that right?
I know we don't Women in Work and Lightning. I don't know what the third one is.
We tried that newer. Which one was it? I don't know. I
Yeah.
think we might have done 3.
Did we try Downtown? Maybe.
Something. And Ben's played some of them in some form at some of those
Mhm.
shows.
So it's just how well last record we had a few demos, but we learned it where we went into the studio and cut the demos 5 or 6 at a time, and we were realizing how powerful it is to be able to go in the studio, not for keeps, but instead of having the boom box in the corner trying to get 8 people sound right, to be able to actually go in there
Right.
and come away with what really would sound better than the first 2 records sometimes. You're listening to the demos going, man,
Yeah.
and it makes it when you go into the studio, if you've written a part and you've worked it up to some idea that you've played it a couple times, when you're actually recording, I think it just it's more efficient in the actual studio. Right now what we're doing is experimenting, and you want to do it as best as you can, but you also kind of have to remember that it's just demos. That a producer is going to come in one day and be like, well, let's just flip these chords and let's do this. And I'm going to draw a picture of your big squirmy mouth. And there's your waggling tongue. And there's your cross eyes. And there's your little weirdy diaper.
What's he doing?
I'm making fun of you.